You've heard the theory, playing on your home turf, surrounded by your own fans, gives you a competitive edge. It's treated as a law of physics in professional sports. In 2020, global lockdowns brought professional sports to a halt, and when they finally returned, they did so in completely shuttered stadiums. Without meaning to, the pandemic created the largest psychological control group in sports history. Economists saw an opportunity. In a 2021 study, researchers analyzed nearly 6,500 professional football matches from that season, including nearly 1,500 played in total silence behind closed doors. They found a massive discrepancy in how the rules were enforced. Without tens of thousands of screaming fans in the stands, referees handed out significantly fewer yellow cards to visiting players. This chart illustrates the distribution of penalties. With a crowded arena, the away team is punished disproportionately. Take the crowd away, and the punishment is balanced out. The data indicates that the famed home advantage relies heavily on how the referee enforces the rules. A packed arena doesn't magically make the home athletes run faster or jump higher. It imposes a measurable psychological handicap on the official. The statistics show a clear change in behavior, but they don't explain the mechanism behind it. We need to know why the absence of noise alters human decision-making. To answer that, we have to move off the physical pitch and look inside a human brain trying to process a wall of sound from thousands of screaming voices. Today, we are looking at the cold, hard science of cognitive breakdown under immense social pressure. 18 years before the pandemic, researchers at the University of Wolverhampton were already isolating this exact phenomenon in a controlled laboratory environment. They gathered 40 qualified referees, had them watch video recordings of 47 ambiguous tackles. Half the referees watched with the crowd noise turned up. The other half watched in absolute silence. In this graph, referees hearing crowd noise awarded 15.5% fewer fouls against the home team, Liverpool. On the far right, notice the massive spike in the uncertain category for the noise group. The cheering made these referees second-guess what they were seeing. This graph compares the lab results with the match's actual referee. The solid black bar representing the noise group perfectly mirrors the striped bar of the actual match official. The silent group, shown in white, remained statistically objective. Take the crowd out of the equation and the bias disappears. The audio alone is enough to manufacture an imbalance in a previously objective observer. When a foul happens in a fraction of a second, the visual evidence is often blurry or incomplete. The brain lacks the reliable data it needs to make a confident choice. To process this, the mind uses a mental shortcut known as the as-if heuristic. When visual data is unreliable, the brain substitutes the roar of the screaming fans as if it were factual evidence, bridging the gap in logic with pure noise. There is also a second cognitive failure at play: stress avoidance. In academic surveys, officials consistently rank making a bad call as the single most severe psychological stressor of their job. Penalizing the home team subjects the official to the immediate hostility of thousands of people. The brain perceives this as a direct social threat. To cope with this overwhelming stress response, the referee's brain takes the path of least resistance. It unconsciously chooses to swallow the whistle, avoiding the anger of the mob altogether. The referee isn't actively deciding to manipulate the game. Their biased call is simply an unconscious neurological defense mechanism against cognitive overload. Between the thousands of closed-door pandemic matches and the controlled conditions of the 2002 lab experiment, the data paints a consistent picture. Referees are not malicious, and they are not actively corrupt. They are human beings. Their minds are buckling under the exact same cognitive overload that any of us would experience if we had 50,000 people screaming at us to make a specific choice. That shared psychological vulnerability is exactly why stripping the crowds away during the global pandemic instantly cured the statistical bias. So the next time an official misses a call against your team, it might be worth extending a little grace. They are just trying to navigate an overwhelming amount of social pressure. If you found this breakdown interesting, make sure to subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into the psychology of everyday life. But that leaves us with one final question. If a crowd gives the home team a psychological advantage through the referee, how can that exact same crowd pressure completely destroy a home athlete's performance? We'll cover that next time.